shine on this morning. What is this? Thursday. It's my Thankful Thursday. It is one of my favorite days of the week. Between my Thankful Thursday, Wade, and my Satisfying Sunday, it is definitely one of my favorite days of the week. Well, great morning, everyone. Great morning. I love to start my mornings. Miss Monique, you already know. Like, so get you one or two in. Don't breathe too hard, Wade, because I have to do mouth to mouth on you. So get you a couple of breaths in, right? Because everybody know that if you're not breathing, what happens? You're dead, right? Pretty much, right, Kayla? Pretty much. So you have to be breathing. But we don't oftentimes stop and just take deep breaths. And it's a complete difference when you're just breathing. As I'm talking, I'm breathing, obviously, because I can't be talking if I'm not breathing. Versus if you're... Because there's no telling where we just came from. Where we got to go when we leave here. Everything that's on our mind, right, Miss Strickland, before we even leave this room again. So I have just learned to appreciate deep breaths and being able to just breathe. And so welcome to the Circle of Caring on this Thursday. And not just any old day or not just any old Thursday, but in May. And this is a special month. If I got to say so myself. If I must say so myself, it is a very special month because it is the month that I was born. And I'm telling y'all, let me just say, I don't know about y'all, but you know, that little hard-head kid that maybe y'all have seen or worked with through your programs, or that little fast girl that you might see coming through the neighborhood, right? That was me. And I almost didn't make it. But I had programs and I had mentors just like y'all that changed my entire life. Amen. Right? Right, Miss Sherry? And so almost 46 years later, oh, it's such a joy. And so I have always come to really appreciate life, especially my senior year in high school. I had a near fatal car accident that really catapulted me into my journey. But since then, I've always been appreciative for life. But since the pandemic, baby, I was waking up in the middle of the night, Greg, like, I ain't even gonna lie, like every breath in the middle of I'm telling y'all, it was just a journey, right, Jonathan? Like, it was like a whole journey during the pandemic. So it has taught me to appreciate life that much more. And so I do celebrate, and especially during my birthday month. So I really, really love to celebrate this month as well. But somebody say the 21st. The 21st. If you have not already registered, please join us for our evening mixer. It's going to be our Cinco de Mayo evening at Casa Jimador, and it's going to be a little birthday celebration for me as well. So I figured why not do the two together, because my birthday is actually that Wednesday.
22nd?
Yes, it is the 22nd. Wait. Is it? Your friend got to be special, girl. Oh, yeah. Just bear with them. Just bear with them now.
It's two Geminis in the house, me and him.
Oh, okay, right? Yeah. So precious. Tell him I say happy birthday. Say his birthday twin said happy birthday. Yes. Thank you. So the 21st will be a time that we'll be able to celebrate our evening time, because we knew that we wanted to do evenings as well, but we've only been able to do 2 a year, which is our Heroes of the Heart, which is in celebration in conjunction with the Family Shreveport Christmas Festival with Dorian Ford, and then United Nonprofits for National Nonprofit Day. But we hope to do more evening mixers throughout the year as we get into 25, because we got some fun stuff planned for the rest of this year. We have, after this meeting, that's what Ms. Beth was saying, we won't be back here. Somebody say back here.
Back here.
Look at your person next to you and say, she said, back here. Okay? We will not be back here until August. I know, right? Not back here until August. So stay tuned for emails and stuff, because you'll be seeing us in various locations for June. Well, starting the 21st and then through July. So we'll have different events. They'll pretty much be the same times most of it. I know we have a brunch scheduled in June, so it's like a 10 to 12 versus a 8:30 to 10. So just stay tuned in your email. Miss Rebecca does an amazing job keeping y'all abreast, right? Yes, she does. Let's give it up for her. Yes, she does. Miss Rebecca, this is for you, Miss Rebecca. This is for you. Yes. She does an amazing job keeping us abreast. And so we just have a lot of things going on with summer camps here. And so we thought we would take advantage of coming to visit different partner sites and being able to come and break bread in your locations. I know we'll be with NLTCC at some point, John, but excited about that, okay? So, are y'all ready? Are y'all ready?
Yes, ma'am.
Our icebreakers this morning is going to be a bit different because, drum roll please, drum roll. I think it's worth the drum roll. Right? We get an opportunity to finally go to the app.
Oh, good.
The app is ready.
All right.
And so we will spend our time, so get your phones out, I hope it's charged, because we are getting ready to go to our app that is finally open in both Google and Apple. And did we say the first? Somebody say the first. The first community app in the entire state of Louisiana. We got it right here, y'all. I'm telling you. I'm so excited. And the team that has really, the network stewards that has gone to the limits we have met, and boy, if you see any gray hairs in my hair, Miss Strickland, it's because of that ad. I'm like, Lord, I don't care if it's blue or purple, Caleb. I just want to talk to the people and tell them, but it's just been a journey. I'm telling you, Caleb, that's why we need you, right? Because it didn't matter to me. I'm just like, I don't care what, but I am so excited. It has been an amazing journey, and we're not done. I need y'all to know that we're not done. This is just our beginning process of it. Greg, you're going to like it too. I can't wait for you to see it, Greg. Greg is over there just smiling. I cannot wait, Greg, for you to see this. So it is definitely, good morning, ladies. Welcome home. Welcome home. I know you got to guess Miss Rashonda, so I have to say welcome home, but she don't know she at home too. And so it is, I know y'all looking. It's neighborhood. It's neighborhood. Yes, I know, because they looking too. It's the neighborhood app in your Google.
Neighborhood.
Mm-hmm.
What?
No, I'm sorry, neighborhood agency. Let me pull up my stuff. You see how I'm just challenged, right?
Step one again.
Go into your app store. Mm-hmm. In your app store. Oh yeah, we fancy with it. Go into your app store.
Neighborhood Network?
And it's thank you, Katie. Neighborhood Network.
What's it called?
Now, let me see, because it's two of them, right? It's the one.
Are you looking for it?
Yes.
Neighborhood Network.
Yes, that's the one you need with the smiley face. Let me make sure that's it. She told me it's two.
That's a common agency, but that's it.
And it's the Common Agency Neighborhood Network, yeah.
How about neighborhood app?
It's not next door. Okay. It's like a smiley face or
Yep, it's a smiley face on it.
an outlet. It looks like an outlet face.
Yep, Common Agency.
You're plugging in.
Right. I like it.
Yep, so like I said.
Mine has a bunch of
And then
spots.
you're gonna actually set up a profile. Kayla, you probably already done with yours.
No, I closed it out because I was going to do it with the group.
Yeah, so go ahead and set you up a,
There it is. I just had to do it a different way.
Which one you said it's smiley faces?
This is like one that's where you left brain and right brain. If you see a happy face, your right brain.
Plug.
Plug your left one.
And it's gonna ask you, questions about your agent, and then it's gonna, we're gonna link agencies. You see it, Robert?
I don't know how to do it.
Quarter of the way.
Caleb, you done with yours? Hannah, can you reset my Bluetooth, please, sweetie?
What are you, this neighborhood help?
So I
Neighborhood
looked
network.
up common
I'm still
agency
downloading.
and the neighborhood.
Yep.
Common agency. I'm not getting it on neighborhood app. I get a bunch of,
You got it, Wade?
no.
You gotta
I-
delete
Look
some of
up-
them.
Look up, is to get rid of neighborhood and do common agency neighborhood. That's the only way to get it to come.
That's the only way you could?
Common what?
Agency.
You should have, yep, and you should have. Wait,
Oh,
yeah, so you can put circle here.
Yes.
Oh, yeah, wow. So you can just put, circle here and then.
I get a bunch of stuff here, but I don't see it.
Where are you?
Common agency and neighborhood. Yeah, well, there's a food store, I got it, liquor store.
Oh, you did in neighborhood.
Yeah, this morning I was like mentally making a
Do you have an Android?
So the government gives me what I got.
Come on, buddy.
Yeah, I remember being up. Yeah. Yeah.
Sure, might have slowed down the road.
Yeah, we're all using sets. We're in the same place.
Glad, 'cause I'm always done on the computer, so it actually pulled it up.
Okay, so I think we should be, I know it's pretty interesting to enter the questions that they're asking. What do you like? Your common things that, your interests. And it's going to link you to your organizations as well. I'm telling y'all, when y'all really see it, it's super cool. And we'll talk more about it after lunch, and after breakfast. We're just talking about our lunch tour. But if you are not done yet, we'll keep working through it during breakfast, because this is how we're going to use this to introduce ourselves, okay? And so, we're gonna go ahead and say grace, and we're gonna do breakfast. A couple of housekeeping rules. There are restrooms in the back here to your left and outside of the door and to your left as well. Coffee and drinks back here in the back, as well as breakfast at the top. So we will pray, and then ladies, if you can go ahead and release yourselves to breakfast, and then the men will follow. But we have an amazing speaker from WIOA. We got the team. So glad, Kisa. Is it Kissa? Kisha. I love that name. I'm like, Kisa. I had a friend named Kisa as a kid that was spelled like that, but Kisha. I love it. So we have WIOA that's going to be speaking to us today with the amazing programs, because this month, we focused on our 8 elements. And we'll talk about what those elements are. And to this month, it's around, just had a brain freeze.
Meaningful work.
Thank you. It's around the meaningful work that we do throughout our communities. And so, thank you, Mr. D. So let's pray, and we'll go ahead and release for breakfast. Greg, will you lead us?
Sure. Father God, we appreciate so much being able to be here with each other and to break bread and to think about how we can each benefit each other in efforts to benefit the greater community. And just thank you for Nina, thank you for community renewal, thank you for all the people who carried the water that allows us to be here this morning.
Yes.
Please let this be productive, let this be the spark for some really good things that you want to happen in Shreveport and the outlying area. In Jesus' name we pray.
Amen. Thank you. All right, ladies, breakfast. I love me a good French toast, so I cannot wait to indulge. But I am super excited again about the app. How many of you all were able to finish your profile? Almost? Okay, just keep working on it. No problem. Keep working on it. And for those that do not know, this is a common agency app that has given us the opportunity to be the first in the city of Shreveport, but also the entire state of Louisiana, to have a community app, okay? Now, the Circle of Caring is specifically for businesses, churches, and organizations. Oftentimes, Greg, people think this is just a nonprofit thing. It is not. We just happen to have the nonprofits, a lot of them in the room, because nonprofits outside of businesses and churches understand the importance of collaboration. But, somebody say but. This room is for businesses, churches, and organizations. And for the remainder of this year, our focus is to ensure that we build this room with more churches and more businesses. Now, the reality is that which of those agencies are more important?
All the same important.
Right? I love doing that when we first started. We did a whole survey of which agency, label them 1 through 3. Which one was the most important? And you are 150% correct, Caleb. It was definitely a trick question. Every last one of them are important. Because there are some people that come into our organizations that will definitely never step foot in a church. And if they come into your business, it may not to be to buy, right? It's not funny at all, Caleb, but I'm very amazed and amused by the fact that we have now put everything on a system within stores to where it's not manual. It's just everything. What is it? What am I talking about? What is it? What is it, Mr. D? What's the word? Like it's now all ran by automated. Thank you. Everything is automated now. But if you notice, if you go into the Family Dollars and so forth, they now have to stand right there because people are now stealing. They thought what was going to serve as a benefit has now cost them much more than they needed to, because that's what they were wanting to do. To automate it is to remove. That's less labor, right? But now you got a $1 million system on top of the fact that you have to pay your workers because they cannot no longer, at the Family Dollars that I've been to, allow customers to scan their own items.
Right. Walmart is in a lawsuit.
Are they, Miss Strickland? And that's the thing. So again, we want to avoid people, but it's inevitable. So businesses have to understand the importance of nonprofits as much as nonprofits have to understand the importance of churches and vice versa. So all three of them are equal of importance, which is why this room is for businesses, churches, and organizations. Now, I said this the other day in a community meeting, and I love to say it in these rooms, and y'all know it enough to know y'all can finish it. Anybody can come in these rooms, but everybody won't come. Because this is the one room that we get to be we, right, Miranda? We get to be we. This is our French room. We get to be we in these rooms, and we understand the importance of we versus me. So anybody get to come into these rooms, but everybody won't come. But this room is for the businesses, the churches, and the organizations, and this app is a lead-in. Now, we're the first in the state, but everybody won't have access to this. It's only going to be for the Circle of Caring members for now. And why? Because our mission is to streamline everything that we get to do, and how do we work smarter versus harder. I'm always looking, how do we work smarter? So when you get into the app, that I hope you're just about done with your profile. I see you working, Greg. Greg is already, are you scoping, Greg? It's nice, isn't it? As you're into this app, you get an opportunity to see the businesses, the churches, and the organizations, and instead of you wondering what's coming up on this day, we got a calendar in there. We finally got a community calendar within this app. Because we understood coming in that we were tired of seeing nothing going on the 21st, and then on the 28th, every nonprofit and business in the city is doing the same, not even the same thing, but on the same day, and nobody knew the president was going to be here. And so we wanted to get this app in place so that we can begin to avoid that stuff. So you got calendar of events that you'll be able to upload. Now instead of you, because I call Miss Strickland, if I don't know, I'm calling Miss Strickland. You know, but you have those people in the community that you can call and say, what about, or where can. Now you got an app that you can just go in and look at who provides these services. And so this app is such a resource tool, and the only way, somebody say the only way. The only way that it's going to work is if you work it. That's the only way it's going to work, is if you work it. If you still don't put your events on there, and I know y'all, because I'm like, dang, that's another thing. Well, guess what? It's another thing to work smarter on. So if we can just begin to focus or put it into our regular regimen of things, then it'll become like a second nature. Or you as a leader, because how many leaders we got in the room, right? Because you as a leader, the one thing about a leader is understanding what you're not good at leading at. I know I'm not good administration-wise, but Miss Rebecca is fabulous. Right? Right? And that's where teams come in at. Understanding that together each accomplishes more. There is no I's in team. So where you know that you're not good at, then you pass the baton. I'm not good at that stuff. So I'm okay being not good at that. But I get to be okay being good at what I'm good at. But that's where we get to serve collectively. So this app is going to serve that place. Okay? So, as I mentioned, this year, our whole core mission is to focus on the 8 elements to a healthy community. We talked early on, and if you have never Googled it, I'm going to remind you, Google green, or is it blue zones, blue communities. Google blue communities. Blue communities live till they're almost 100 plus years old. Their health is vibrant. But they didn't just wake up and become blue communities or blue zones. It's about intentionality. And everything that we do in all of our elements, this month we're talking about meaningful work. And in order for you to do meaningful work, it takes intention. I'll give you a better example. It's like a relationship. Anybody in a relationship in here? Right? Marriage, right? Try to let your boo just call you when they felt like it. Or check in, right, Jonathan?
I will.
But when you think about that, you know that it don't just wake up. A lot of times people think that you just wake up and have good relationships. I don't care if it's with your significant other or with your children. With your dog. If I got a little cute, if y'all seen her, she's adorable. But if she thought that she was going to come to my house and poop and use it all over my house, that was a whole nother thing. I train my own dogs. And I talk to them like I'm talking to you. And I'm telling you, this is how I train them. Because you're not getting ready to look at my daughter. That's her baby. She's my grand dog, actually. And she hates if I have to spank her or whatever, but she gon'. Because you have to be intentional. I don't even care if it's a dog. You have to be intentional. And so I'm excited because these rooms are intentional. And as we bring up Caleb to close us out and share what his programs are doing in the meaningful work that they get to do it in CDC, I want you to begin to bring your minds, because these rooms are simply for networking. There's no real mission in here. We come in here and network, and we hear about other programs because we need to know who we need to send each other to. But somebody say next level. See, we've been doing this almost 3 years now. I know, right, Kayla? 2.5 for sure. But the next level to this is that we're getting ready to start working on doing groups. I'm okay that we get to come in these rooms and eat good, because you know we're going to eat good every time. We're going to eat good, we're going to enjoy the fellowship, and we're going to go out and hopefully take some of these tools that you can use in your own programs and services. But this next level, these doing groups that we're working on within this app, those right questions, there's going to be a question loading once a week. And we just ask that you respond to the question. It could be, what will a community look like? You probably see the first question in there. What will a community look like if it's A, B, and C? Answer that question. It could be one word. It could be, one sentence. It could be 5. It's no limit. But we're asking you to answer the questions, because out of these, we want to form doing groups. We don't know what's important to each other until we know what's important. And once we know what's important to each other, then we'll be able to work collectively on what is important to us. And don't tell nobody I said it, but it's some funding behind it too. It's some funding behind these doing groups as well. I don't care if it's $500, it's enough to get your refreshments. Whatever it is, right? But we want to put these doing groups together, because before we could even do anything, I needed y'all to know that we were coming into a safe atmosphere. It was the culture that we spent time building. Because before we can do business together, I got to know I can trust you. And if I can't trust you, and the only way that I can begin to trust you is if we build what? A relationship. And that's what this has been about. So, we're talking about meaningful work this month. And CDC, Caleb is going to come up and share with us what they're doing with WIOA, and being the kid that did not have, or I should say have all the obstacles against me. I knew what it was like to work in programs like this at 14, 15, 16. That was my all. I didn't know it was preparing me to do what I do today. But I worked through programs just like CDC, but in Michigan. So y'all, let's give it up for Caleb.
I'm glad I came after breakfast. I can now put you all to sleep, give you a nice 15, 20-minute nap before you have to go. So as Miss Nina said, my name is Caleb Stacy. I am the Youth Business Service Rep for the Coordinating and Development Corporation. That is a lot, kind of a big title. I'll get more into what that is in a moment. But real quick, we've thrown around the word meaningful work. I just wanted to ask you guys, what does that mean to you? Can I get some examples of what is meaningful work? Yes.
Yeah, I was about to say the same thing. It's rewarding. It doesn't feel like you're going to do work. You're intentionally doing it.
Exactly.
Because it's your purpose.
Okay, so it satisfies then something else just then besides, I guess, like income. You enjoy doing it. All right, anyone else? Yes.
I was thinking almost exactly that. The only thing I would add is that you're contributing to society.
Okay, so yeah, going outside kind of yourself and being a part of a community. I like that. Yes.
It's a job where not only you can, not that you're trying to climb a ladder, but you're actually being developed. The things maybe you didn't even know you had, people around you that you work with are able to help you develop whatever it is, you think you might be good at or whatever.
Yeah, so I think you're right. It has to contribute back to you. You got to be able to thrive, become a better person, and hone your skills more. I think these are all great examples. I ask this because this is, to me, a very personal question. My work is all about this, and I've encountered this a lot. I'll give you guys a story. So, not in the too distant past, I recently graduated high school. I'll leave that number ambiguous. So I graduated high school, and I'm like, yes, I got out of school. I don't have any more teachers. I'm free. What do I do? How do I get a job? Like, what does that look like? Like, I see my dad, my mother, they go to jobs, they work, I know what they do. Well, how do I do that? There's other questions. How do I live? What's a bill? I don't think I like those. Credit score. I needed one of those? I can't buy anything without one? Well, that's unhelpful. I wasn't aware I needed a credit score. That was something my parents took care of. And then it's just like, okay, I know I need to get a job. How? Where do I find one? Like, do I go down the street? Well, no, they seem to have expectations of what I need to do. So there's these questions around me that I didn't know how to deal with. I had a good education. I went to a decent high school, but I didn't know how to work. I didn't understand the workforce. Now, let's take another example, somebody else. Let's say, someone else, they're graduating high school, but maybe they have children. Maybe they're expecting another one. Maybe they have a disability, ADHD, something, a cognitive thing that makes certain jobs harder or more of a challenge, and they need more patience, more of a kind of leadership in what they're doing. Sadly, for them, meaningful work is hard. It's harder to find. They might not be looking for that. They might be looking for work. They're looking for a paycheck to get by. Anyone in here Harry Potter fan? I'm a major Harry Potter fan. Yeah, probably. I said the number's ambiguous. One of the lines, I forget from which book, is the other can't live while the other survives. I think that's a key difference between meaningful work and working. You can get by on one, you can thrive and become a better person and be part of a community in another. So now, moving on a bit from that, the federal government kind of notices this issue, that there's a good amount of people that struggle with this. They have these barriers to getting good, meaningful work. And so one of their solutions is they fund states with a grant. They invented a grant called the Workforce Invocation and Opportunity Act. And this grant is it's their solution. They put many millions of dollars into it. It goes out to each of the states, and then the states take it. Sometimes they administer it. Sometimes they give it to companies to administer on their behalf. So that's a long way of telling you what my company does. CDC, Coordinating and Development Corporation, we are one of those companies. We get a portion of that grant to then reinvest in the people in the community that have barriers to help them achieve meaningful work. A little bit more kind of about this grant before I move on. So it is unique in a few ways. Number one, it's mostly geared to an individual. For those of you that know grants, that's usually, at least for a Department of Labor grant, not true. They're usually aimed at an organization so that the organization might be able to help and interact with people, but it's not aimed at the person itself. WIOA, in a general overlook, is for the individual to utilize. There are perks that businesses can use, but it's mostly aimed at the individual. So, going more in depth about the grant, it has what I call 3 brackets. It has dislocated worker, it has adult, and it has youth. So right off the bat, it covers all ages, 14 and up. So if you live to 568, it covers you. If you live that long, congratulations. Dislocated worker is kind of an odd one to throw in there, but it makes sense when you're making the grant to have it there. Dislocated worker is probably addressed first, a bit easier to understand. So under the WIOA grant, dislocated worker is simply someone that lost their job due to no fault of their own. That can be simply a plant closure. So a bunch of people that had jobs, they were working, they were doing well, boom, they lost their job. That's hard. Can I hold questions until the end, please? Thank you. Gotta keep track of time. So that's kind of, I guess, the overview of dislocated worker. To qualify for the grant, dislocated worker, again, very simple. You just have to be laid off due to no fault of your own. It doesn't have any other requirements for it. Adult is slightly different. Adult has a barrier that you have to qualify for. These barriers are things, as I listed earlier, parenting or pregnant. There's disabilities, basic skills deficient. Easy way to think of that is the tape test. If a person can't get past that, meaning they have an 8th grade knowledge of math, reading and writing, personally, I think that's a little low, but you'd be surprised how many people can't pass that. So, can't pass a tape test, that qualifies someone as basic skills deficient. Offender is another one, another barrier. It doesn't necessarily mean someone's convicted of a crime, but being arrested or even something small, juvenile, that qualifies for that. And then you have foster care, things like that. Those are all barriers that someone would qualify for. And then low income. So adult is, they need to qualify as low income and have one of those barriers. The last category, I leave youth for last because it's a bit more confusing. Because there are 3 brackets, well, youth technically has its own subcategories. We break them into in-school youth and out-of-school youth. I'll start with out of school. They're a bit easier. They qualify just only off of a barrier or low income. So they can be low income, they qualify. They can have a barrier, income doesn't matter, they qualify off of either. In-school youth is slightly different. They qualify off of, they need to be low income and have one of those barriers. So pregnant, parenting, foster care, skills deficient, etc. Oh, and I forgot to mention, they do have different age groups. So in school is, I want to say, was it 14 to 21, out of school 16 through 24. Some of you that are really good at math might notice that adults 18 and up, the youth go to 21 or 24. It's a bit of an overlap there. Either way, what that basically means is they could be either or, so they can qualify as a youth or as an adult, and we will put them in whichever suits them best. We tend to try to do youth because we can offer more services that way. I'll get to that in a second. But it really just depends on what they need to kind of boost them and their life. So I gave you kind of what people need, what kind of people qualify to receive this kind of funding. So I'll now talk briefly about what services those people can receive. The juicy part, shall we say, of WIOA. So right off the bat, they qualify, they get in, they are assigned a case manager. I don't like that term. I think that's a little ambiguous. I like to think of them as a life coach or a counselor. They are someone that is willing to walk through the steps that person needs. If they need help with almost anything, that person will either A, find it for them or get it to them. And look, my coworker Kisha, she's a case manager, she's a life coach. I know all the people at my office that are life coaches. They are phenomenal people. They're usually very caring people because it's a very personal role. We've had some youth that have called their case manager because their tire went out on the side of the road and they don't know what to do.
Wow.
Which I get it. I was fortunate enough, my father showed me how to change a tire. But not everyone knows that. Might also depend on what kind of car you have. Some of those things are annoying. So that life coach, that's like a parent to them. That is a guardian, someone that can show them and walk them through the tough times in their life. So automatically, whether they're youth, adult, dislocated worker, they all have a case manager. The second thing is career learning. So there are many positions where you just need to broaden your education. Past high school, you don't necessarily need to go and get a PhD in biomechanical science. But you might need to know more about a trade. Maybe you want to go into welding. Well, what are the terms? What do you need to do? Maybe you need to know more about that. A good way to do that is go to a trade school. Maybe you want to do graphic design. Okay, go to a school to learn more about that. Some jobs, that's required. So WIOA does help cover tuition for that. It goes up to a bachelor's degree, so up to 4 years, the tuition is covered. And side things as well. So say it's LPN or something in the medical field, and that person needs scrubs, they need equipment, they need textbooks. That's covered as well. So it's tuition and anything the person needs to succeed at going to school. Again, this is available to all people that qualify for the grant. The last thing, which is a bit more dense, is career training. Ideally, this comes after learning, but some people, I don't really want to go back to school, or I don't need to. I have a little bit of experience, but I need that job, and I need that career to launch into. That's what the training is for. This is, in one sense, the big overall part of WIOA is in the training. Through primarily 2 programs we call the work experience and the on-the-job training. Generally speaking, on-the-job training fits better with adults and work experience with youth, but both groups can do both programs. It kind of just depends on their background and what they need. So starting with WEX, or work experience, that's kind of the exploring a career. I found youth that they don't know what they want to do. They know they want a job, they know they want a career, they know what their skills are, but maybe they want to try 2 or 3 different areas just to have a taste, because they've never been there. If you want to go into machinery, but have never been to a machinery plant, what do you do? It's a little ambiguous. So work experience is perfect for that. They can go, they can try it out for, it can be as a week, couple of days, as long as a couple of months. But they can try it out. And the nice thing about WIOA is, as I said earlier, employers can kind of benefit off this as well. This is where that comes in. Because we know, look, while people are hiring, training someone new, it's expensive. Big problem is training costs. Training takes a lot of effort, takes a lot of time. So WIOA, for work experience, they pay for all of the wages and the insurance of that person. So the participant, they come, we basically say, look, you train them, but you spend your time training them, we'll cover them, we'll pay them. All you need to do is train them. And then you get the labor from that, and then the community's better off. OJT is similar. That usually though, on-the-job training, they're usually obligated to hire them after. It's like actual training. So it can be done after a WEC. So if a person's like, I really like this kind of career, I want to develop it, then on-the-job training is good for that because they can go, that's usually a bit longer. They can learn what they need to in a particular position. They can master those skills, and then the company can have them as an employee. That is also, again, reimbursed. That's 50% of the employee's wages. So again, it's a bit of an offset because we know training's hard. We all can help with the training. So there's a lot kind of to go over, but that's kind of just explaining what WIOA does. I'm going to ask my coworker, Kisha, to kind of come up. She can give you guys an example of work experience and kind of show you what that is.
Hi guys, it feels great to be here. I've been with CDC for about 9 months now. Prior to being employed at CDC, I was a town clerk for Oil City for about 10 years. That's where I learned about community renewal. And I was like, what can we do in northern Caddo Parish? If you've ever been up there, you know there's not a lot going on. There's not a lot of employment opportunities and there's no public transportation. So for about a 9-month period, I tried to get into the door of a nonprofit organization. Resigned my position, said I really want to do something to where I can bring resources to the people in northern Caddo Parish. Fortunately, been able to do that. With my previous experience as a municipal clerk, I knew that local government loves to employ high school students during the summer to do odd jobs around the town to see what it's like to be in local government. But since the pandemic, the funds to employ high schoolers has been non-existent. My last 2 years as town clerk, I was unable to bring extra help in. So I thought, why don't we try to use WEX as a summer program to connect our high schoolers with our local municipalities? Caleb and I started making our rounds, talking to the local leaders, and it grew from there. We have 14 positions in the northern part of Caddo Parish. That would be Vivian, Oil City, Ida, Rodessa area. And we have 13 available positions in the Greenwood area. Now, one thing that we need to mention, our company can manage grants for anyone who lives outside the city limits of Shreveport. Anyone inside the city limits of Shreveport must go through the workforce board with the city of Shreveport.
That would be me.
But being a small town girl born and raised in Oil City, Louisiana, I wanted to find something to help my community, right? That's what we did. We went to the schools. We went to North Caddo, Northwood, and Huntington. We had about 15 students from the North Caddo area apply. We're still waiting on their documents to come through. But we have those positions ready for those students. They're going to be making at least $10 an hour this summer, but actually the median salary that I've heard is $15. You guys, $15 an hour? For our kids in rural Caddo Parish who used to get
I wasn't
nothing? Right.
So that's a good example, kind of, again, what the WEX is and how it can work in our communities. I think I'm about out of time, so I'm going to wrap this up. Again,
You said we could ask questions.
I'll get there in just a second. So again, we are a workforce agency that uses a federal grant to help people that have barriers find meaningful work. Because at the end of the day, our economy, our communities are hurting because of this. People that don't find meaningful work, they live paycheck to paycheck. They'll switch jobs. Switching jobs means employers have to train new ones or get new ones elsewhere. And sorry, I'm from Texas, so no offense. No one wants to stay here in Louisiana. Texas will offer someone $80,000 to move across the border. So people are leaving. So we need programs like this. We need partners in the community to help these people, to give them meaningful work, and to help just the community, to help grow and to help thrive, both as friends and as individuals. Okay, I'll take a few questions now. How about 3, okay?
Yep, that's totally.
I'll take 3 questions, yes.
Can I ask 3 or I have to share?
Yeah, you're gonna have to share,
Okay.
One and then we'll move on.
I can talk to you afterwards if you have more.
Okay.
Yes.
Statute of limitations on dislocated worker, that's my question.
What do you mean?
So they started out after the, I guess, COVID,
Mm-hmm.
that they're in the oil field, everything in New Mexico. They originally lived here, but they went there because there was work. And then, no offense to the president who shut it down, but then they became dislocated, so they came back here. But they weren't able to get back into that because of one of those issues you said.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm wondering what the statute of limitation is on when you became a dislocated worker to now. You know, does that make sense?
Yeah, so I know there is.
But we can talk later.
Right. Like how long have you been
How long?
dislocated?
Yes.
I've
Like,
never come across that, we have to ask.
Yeah, I don't
we
know.
can talk later. We can talk
There's a
later.
few, I don't know the time of that. I do know the area might matter.
Okay.
So the fact that they've moved back to here might be tricky. Because you said they were in San Francisco? No.
New Mexico.
New Mexico.
Where would they, well, yeah, we can talk later.
Okay, we can talk later.
Yeah.
But my question is, with the dislocation, how long have they been back here and not working?
Okay. Well,
Yeah.
they're working now, but it's in an area that, it's just a little different, but anyway, I can meet with y'all later.
Any other general questions?
I have another, nobody else?
We gonna let you.
Okay, well.
Next one is there a Bossier, like you said, in Caddo, what did you say about, and they live inside the city, and then outside the city they have, so
Oh, yeah,
is
tell
there a
her.
Bossier one?
Yeah, so
Organization?
our organization services all the parishes around Shreveport, city limits. That includes cities outside of Shreveport, so Greenville, things like that.
Greenville.
Part B of that question, do you need Spanish-speaking youth?
Yes.
Yes.
Of course.
We're-
Run around this room.
We have actually recently been working on developing better software for Spanish speakers,
I know some people.
but I haven't bumped into any yet, so I would love an excuse to use that.
Here's my last part C question. Anybody else? Part C, I think I answered my question, but if they age out of foster care, is that one of those things that they
Yes. So yeah, usually it's either they're in or they age out.
run around?
Yeah.
Okay. That's all
That
my
qualifies
questions,
with me,
sorry.
And I'm with the ones for they do outside of the city, and my location is the one for inside the city.
Inside.
Yeah, so the whole area is represented here today.
We
All right. Well, thank you all for having me. I hope you guys have a good rest of your day.
Not sure.
Thank you, Caleb.
Ex offenders do qualify now for the adult program?
Yes.
Do you have an
Yes.
application with you?
I do not. No.
Why not? Well, when I first
You have the.
I have a link to the site. Yeah.
telling me that.
Okay, give us that link.
Y'all, let's give it up for Caleb. Let's give it up for him. Great information, isn't it? And these CDC and everything that the city of Shreveport is doing, working with them, y'all, our kids need this money. And guess what? People perish for what? The lack of knowledge. It's out there. It's resources. We just got to get it out there. Go ahead.
I would like to make sure that everyone understands it's a wraparound service, so it does not affect any other services they're receiving from federal government or state government.
Yes, so good to know. It's a wraparound service, so it does not interfere with any other services that student or young adult could be getting from the state. So just know that this is so important, right? Go ahead, Ms. Strickland.
I'm sorry, everybody's asking me for a card, and unfortunately I did not bring them because they need to re-bring. So can I just give my information real quick? Or you-
Yes, please. Go ahead, Ms.
So
Strickland.
I'm Strickland. I'm one of the program managers, which, as Caleb was saying, we really are like coaches, really.
Yeah.
Really, I mean, really. but we are called program managers, and I'm one of the supervisors. But it's Selena Strickland, with a C, C-E-L-E-N-A, Strickland. 2121 Fairfield Avenue. Most people know it as the unemployment office. We tell everybody, we are the re-employer. We're trying to get people re-employed. Because we don't do unemployment anymore. It's all done online. So, but we are the re-employment and training, but it's Caddo American Job Center. And my phone number, and we just got our phones back on, you guys. They put us on the 5, we've been out with a phone for about 8 months now. So they got it working today, but it might not be tomorrow. So they can I'll just say it, but it's 318-676-7151. Or you can always reach me by cell, 318-573-0026. And I'm sorry I'm having to leave a little early, but all my managers are leaving to go to a reception for 1 hour before just get recognized at the Goodwill Banquet, and I'm only the only one there, so they wait.
I know.
We'll send out the information for both groups to everybody.
Yes.
Via email.
Absolutely. Thank y'all so much. I know a couple of y'all have to go. Any upcoming announcements? Thanks, Ms. Strickland. Any upcoming announcements that your organization, business? I know we were, go ahead, Kayla.
So I'm Kayla Kaye. I'm the Reentry Community Coordinator for Caddo and Bossier Parishes. Next Tuesday at 10, I think for a second. Yeah. It's always at 10. Next Tuesday at 10 at the Goodwill on West 70th Street, the Job Center. We're having a Reentry Coalition meeting. At this meeting, we will separate into groups based on what services you provide and talk about barriers and gaps in our community, and then kind of brainstorm as a group some possible solutions. If as a group we can work together to implement those solutions, we will, and if not, that's something that I will report to the state office so that they can work on things that, us boots on the ground can't really do. So like legislative changes and stuff like that.
I'm here a little slow. Could you start all over with?
Yeah, sorry, I talk really fast. At the Goodwill Job Center on West 70th Street, it's 800 West 70th Street. It's from 10 to 11. I try to end at 11. Sometimes it goes a little over. And you'll go in under the door that says Job Center, and they'll direct you to the room. And I really hope I can see as many of you there as possible. We want input from as many different organizations as we can.
Your name one more time.
Kayla, K-A-Y-L-A. My last name is spelled C-A-Y-E-R, but it is pronounced Kaye, like yippee-ki-yay.
And just love Goodwill and all that they're doing. Kayla was my protege, and I just love spending time with them. So, go ahead.
I'll make it real quick. My name is Jonathan Keith, and I represent one of the partner organizations that works with VO and CDC fund, if you will. So I'm with Northwest, I'm workforce director. So we take those monies and we put the young people or older people through skill training. And like some people came out to our lineman rodeo last week. We have a new batch of linemen opening up. 25 positions. They need to be at least 18 years old to get into it. It's, in life you can never say guaranteed, but every single one of them are getting hired. At the rodeo, there were companies coming out there just to hire.
Sure was.
And they were paying $52 to $60 per hour.
Wow.
And
That's
it's
hard.
an 18-month program that they can receive these fundings to go through. So, or if you're looking for a career change, I've got cards I can hook you up with.
Because I definitely thought about getting up on that pole. I say, how much they paying? I thought about if I could pull myself up, boy. Go ahead.
And in direct response to his comment too about Texas, that is a major issue that we are dealing with here.
Yeah.
My friend last year, before we opened up this program, because of the grants we were able to get, my friend sent his boy to East Texas for lineman training. He paid $20,000 for his boy to get this certificate, and at the end of the certificate, guess what happened? Yeah. Texas hired him.
Yeah.
And he's not coming back.
Yeah.
This is a real common thing. He's using linemen as an example, and they're going all over the country to get this training because you start off at like $70,000, which somebody had told me that when I was 18.
Right. Right.
But they're not coming back.
Yeah.
And so they're not injecting that money back into our economy. So we need to take these funds, get them trained, get them to stay in our community, and that's how I think we can make a big difference. Yes, ma'am.
Is this primarily like, I mean, I get it, we have young people, they need these skills. What about like, do you have an age cutoff?
No, ma'am. I mean, you know, Dr. Dix just told me he's going up that pole tomorrow.
I'm with Doc. And let me just say for NLTCC, this is the only program and training in this side of the state. Isn't that correct, John? Yeah, and so, you know, I was telling my son, like, come on, you over here when you know, like, go ahead.
The thing too is, and I don't want to talk up too much time, but one final comment on it. That program consists, you end up becoming a CDL, so you can drive over the road.
What?
And you have an electrician's license. So in 2 months, you've got a CDL. At the end of the 2 months, if something's going on, you gotta work like today, and you gotta drop out of this program, you're making $50,000 a year.
Wow.
With just that CDL. You know, so, and then you can also just go for that route with WIOA funds or whether you go get a CDL. There's so many opportunities for people, and I think that, you know, we can just do some exploration.
And the whole program is less than a year.
Right.
It's less than a year program. Judge Sims?
Thank you.
Mhm.
Good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
Some of you may know I am the chief justice report. I'm the one that tries to help people and find opportunities for individuals as opposed to just putting them in jail. A lot of people don't do that.
Right.
But I would love to, I give out a sheet of paper on my criminal and traffic dockets every day that provides a list of places that are hiring. So I would love to speak to you, Mr. Keith, and anyone else who can give me information to add to that
Yes,
list.
ma'am.
Because I tell them, if you want to work, I want you to work.
Come on.
There are a lot of people who want to work, but they say, I can't find any jobs. I don't know where they are. So I give that information out on all of those particular dockets. Also, whatever services that you provide, I can give you the information to our probation officer, because when I put somebody on, if I tell them they have to do community service or whatever, those things that I can do, I can add something else depending on what it is. The probation officers have to do their vetting, and you all can be added to the list, because I also order that they do community service in some places.
Absolutely.
Maybe 5 hours, maybe whatever, 8 hours, 10 hours, I don't know. And that may be of help as well.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you
That's
all so
wonderful.
much.
Absolutely, absolutely. Any last minute other announcements? Okay, so please remember that we are traveling all of June and July. Next Tuesday, not next month, next Tuesday is our evening mixer at Casa Jimador. I think I say that right. And so please join us. It's going to be our Cinco de Mayo evening fun / birthday celebration, because I am going to say happy birthday to myself while we're there, because after that I'll be off for 10 days, Caleb. 10 whole ones. Last but not least, tour. If you have never done a community renewal tour, okay, please join us. There will be cards on the table up front. I'll give them to Miss Rebecca now so I don't forget. These cards have dates on the back. That is our remaining dates for this year for the community renewal tour. I know somebody is joining, a couple of people is joining us today, so you get to have breakfast and lunch on us, because we believe in feeding you. And so thank y'all so much for being patient. I know we went a little bit over. Go ahead, Judge.
I do apologize.
No, go ahead.
2 more quick things.
Yes, ma'am.
I think David did not say it, but we will have the lunch.
Take all the time you need, because if I gotta ever come to your judge room, Jesus. Please, Lord,
I am
please.
there with everybody. It doesn't matter what you look like, where you're from.
Right.
I'm there with everybody.
Yes,
I know how some people feel when I practice law. I didn't experience that, so I understand it's my goal to be fair with everybody, but everyone doesn't like that. So that person gets attacked. So pray for me.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
2 things.
was having a luncheon today.
Yes.
And it's Caleb, I thought Caleb was gonna say it, but.
Yeah.
That's okay, it's a scholarship luncheon.
Yes, it is.
So please, 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 if you can make it, it's at Sam's Town today, but I'm sure you can contact it, Will, if you wanna get any tickets, I think they're $75.
Yep, they are.
I did get a table with somebody else, I may have one more seat left, so.
She can go.
It's hers.
I may
Oh,
have
she's
one-
gotta work, she's gotta
I
work.
may have one more seat left, and many of you know that I've been trying to start the Shreveport City Community Court. Y'all have heard about that, some of you have made the meeting. I have received some pushback from some of my colleagues, so please pray in that aspect. Everybody doesn't want to help people. The people in this room, y'all have a different heart.
That's right.
Than some other people. So I have to, it's shocking to me that people don't want to help people.
Isn't that the truth?
But it doesn't cost them anything. I told them I would take all the dockets myself and maintain my dockets too, which is a lot. I don't have a date, so. it's easy.
Wow.
Not yet, we trust him, Ms.
It's
Sid.
funny. But I just wanted to share that. But if you all want to call anybody and encourage any of the judges to get on board to support the community court, if you have any contacts anywhere, please, please, please.
Absolutely.
Or an entity that was going to submit for a federal grant for approximately $800,000. And so that nobody had to pay for anything. Community Foundation already offered us and secured about $150,000 in a grant as well, so it wasn't about the money. So I just wanted to let you know it wasn't about the money.
Good, that's good. I want to hear more about that too.
Judge, in the end, can I get you for a second? I got something I want to tell you about.
Yes.
And I want to be a part of that conversation.
You tell me what
I know, we want to hear more about that community court. All right, y'all, thank you so much for coming and enjoy the rest of y'all Thursday. Hope to see y'all on Tuesday of next week and don't have too much fun this weekend.